What up, YouTube? I really hope I cussed the internet out hard enough because my internet has been tripping. But y'all, it's been on my mind for a couple of weeks, and Tupac's birthday really set off something for me. And then on top of that, this girl, this young lady, this old heifer, Angie Martinez, had the audacity to post. She had the audacity to post her and Tupac videos pictures on YouTube. On Facebook. And that really, really bothered me, y'all. Because this girl still have not released the Tupac video. Like, girl, everybody's dead now. What is you waiting on? You really, because you're starting to look like a culture vulture, in my opinion. So, um, I'm going to really take my time today. I'm not going to rush because I really want to make sure I take this very slow because I don't want to miss anything with Miss Angie Martinez. And I know a lot of people, y'all be praising these people, not me. I don't praise them. Angie is sitting on a Tupac video for the last 20 years, y'all. In the video, Tupac told everybody about Diddy. Boom! So many people's lives, booty holes could have been saved, Angie. So, we about to hit something real right now. And I know I'm not alone. Let's call Angie Martinez out. This is our culture. Miss Angie Martinez. You've been sitting on a cultural archive that could have shifted the entire conversation around power, protection, and who's been hurting who behind the scenes. Especially when it comes to Diddy, Tupac, and young black artists. We gotta hold Angie's responsible, y'all. We gotta hold this chick responsible because what she doing is some bullshit. What Angie have done is some straight up bullshit, y'all. And she has to be held responsible. Tupac wasn't just any artist, Angie. This is why we feel so heavy. He was a truth teller, a disruptor, a mirror for black youth. And if Angie released that video 20 years ago, it might have, just might, and I'm just speaking on common sense right now. I don't know what happened to those pictures. So, what it might have done is exposed more about how dangerous the music industry really was, right? Not only that, it would have protected younger artists from walking into the same traps. I truly believe that. I truly believe that if Angie would have released that video, Usher and Justin Bieber would have knew about Diddy, and ain't no damn way they mamas would have allowed them to go to no damn Diddy camp. How can you sleep with yourself, Angie Martinez? How? It also would have put more pressure on media gatekeepers to stop protecting predators. Because if you think about it, if she would have released that video, Tupac had already admitted that Quincy Jones tried to sleep with him. He was weary of his daughter Khadijah after that. When Tupac went to prison, they lied on him. They said they smeared his name in the media like they do now. Said all kind of mess about him. Said he was raped in prison. They said all kind of crazy stuff in the 90s about him. And at that time, we didn't know if it was true or not because we didn't have social media. So we went off of Word Up magazines, all these different ways of, at the time was the media, how it would get out to us. So we didn't know. What it also would have did if Angie would have released that video 20 years ago created space for black men to talk about loyalty, portrayal, and survival. So there would have been no way in the world the Jay-Z's, the Diddy's would have been able to get away with the things that they have done, Angie. So I'm going to take my time, Angie, because I want to tell this story. You took that video while so many young black creatives got chewed up and spit out by the same machine. You knew what was happening all this time, Angie. You held back a video that could have told the truth for 20 years. And you know who paid the price, Angie? Tupac. He paid the price. Yep. So Miss Angie, she took it on herself, right? Let me switch this out right quick, y'all. I feel like I'm all over the place, but I'm not. We'll get it together. Okay, bam. So here's the pictures, right? This is what triggered me to do this podcast. So Angie Martinez goes on Facebook and released these photos of her and Tupac. This is the actual video. I mean, this is the actual photo of the video of the Tupac, famous Tupac interview that was hidden for 20 years. In this photo and in this on the video, allegedly, he revealed some things that had happened to him. Hmm. This is why her exclusive Tupac interview was too important to be shelved, y'all. How media silence help protect predators like Diddy, and the rippling effect of hiding the truth, artists lost, culture misled. So if we're gonna talk black culture is lit, we also gotta talk who's been dimming the lights, right? Angie? And I hope you see this video, Angie. I really do. Because just because you were a coward back then, that don't mean you have to be a coward now. Everybody's dead now, Angie. You don't have nothing to be scared of. Or do you? Or do you? Or do you? Did Diddy pay Angie? Did he pay you, Angie? Tupac tried to warn us. Angie had the tape, and the industry protected Diddy, y'all. Now here we are, 20 years later, still uncovering what could have saved a generation. We have to talk about this. What Angie did was some bullshit. hmm It's time to demand the truth. Angie, you've been had this interview of Tupac for over 20 years, and we are still waiting. What did Tupac say about Diddy, Angie? Who's been silencing this voice? Was it Jay-Z, Angie? It's time to call you out and protect young black artists. We have to do this, girl. So since you was dropping throwback pics with Tupac, and it's been nearly 20 years and that interview still ain't out, if Pac says something about Diddy or industry secrets, Angie, why the silence now? Is he still threatening you, Angie? He's locked up now, but he's not. So, is that what the problem is, Angie? So, the first video I want to play for you guys is the actual interview. Yep, I need my sounds. Hold on. I'm going to find me some sounds while I'm doing this because I want to be like, boo. Listen, I found the video. Well, just a little of it. But this is the interview Tupac on Hot 97, and it was around 1996. She only aired 12 minutes of it. The video was over an hour, y'all. She gave us 12 minutes. She edited out bullshit and sent it over the waves of Hot 97 to the world. Some bullshit. But we didn't know that in 1996. We didn't know she edited 12 minutes and and gave us that bullshit. We didn't know that. So let's listen to let's listen to the video titled Angie Martinez credit Jay-Z, told y'all, for keeping her Tupac interview safe. Now, what the fuck did Jay-Z have to do with this interview, y'all? It only goes to show you the power Jay-Z was gaining. So Jay-Z he been on his bully tactics. But fortunately for people like me, I don't give a fuck about Jay-Z. So let's go ahead and play this interview and see what Angie put out.
What up, guys? It's your boy DJ Skinless here. We're back with another audio podcast about Tupac. For this one, we're going to break down the Angie Martinez interview that she conducted with Tupac back in 1995. But this latest article on Hip Hop DX states that Angie Martinez credits Jay-Z for keeping her Tupac interview safe. Let's go over this website here. This is djbooth.net, and this breaks down the interview and why it was conducted in the first place. It says Angie originally spoke with Tupac back in 1995. The two conversed for over 2 hours, but only 12 minutes were played on radio after editing. The East Coast West Coast beef was ready to erupt. This interview could have easily been a match to light a much bigger fire rather than smother it. Puffy already had called into the station and promised if the interview aired, he said, "It's going to make the situation worse. I'm going to have a real problem with the station." I wonder if Puffy knew what Pac said about him later in the interview. Angie goes on to say, "I was scared to air this interview, and I didn't want to be responsible for making matters worse. And the truth is, I made that decision, and I'm proud of that after all these years later. I think about the tragedy that happened to both Tupac and Biggie. Like, what if I would have forever wondered if I contributed."
No, they would have died anyway because they had beef. What you did though, where you put vulnerable kids in position to be SA'd. That's what you did, Angie. And you're gonna have to live with that for the rest of your life. Yeah.
In any way to what happened, even though I would have forever wondered if I contributed in any way to what happened, even though it may not have. Ultimately, it happened anyway. I know that I did what I could do to not contribute to it. That gave me strength. That helped me draw the line in terms of who I am as a personality. Angie Martinez, Billboard interview 2016. Also, this goes on to say it just wasn't 2 hours of Tupac rambling on about his beef with Biggie. There was a more positive side that aired over the radio. His true feelings toward Biggie and Puff were kept locked away until now. Now, the crazy thing about this, she's been going on and on since like 2010, maybe even before that about this interview, saying that she's going to release it. All we ever got was clips. We got like a 40-minute reenactment. I think it was DJ Drama acting like Tupac. And I don't really understand why you would not release the version with Tupac's vocals. And I guess some people said it was copyright or some bullshit like that. And I don't think you can really copyright a man's vocals in an interview that was done for your radio station. Anyways, guys, I'll give you my thoughts on that after this article. So on Hip Hop DX, it says Angie Martinez has Jay-Z to thank for making sure her unreleased Tupac Shakur interview doesn't get lost. In an interview with Page 6, the longtime radio host revealed her archives, including a rare Tupac interview, which wasn't in a secure location until Hove made sure they were. The tapes are in a safe, secure place now, she told Page 6, but they weren't for many years. Before that, they were in the laundry room, and it was actually Jay-Z that told me to put it in a safe place. She also said I was meeting at Rock Nation, and we were talking about my archives because I had all my old interviews on tape. They were in boxes in my laundry room, and Jay said, "Get them out of that room right now. Somebody help her get them out of that room, because if there's a flood or fire, it will be destroyed." The archives have been since digitized, but Martinez also says that she has physical tapes in the vault, yet fans won't be hearing the Tupac interview anytime soon. So this continues to say that she won't release it anytime soon. And I totally get from like a standpoint that you have something valuable, something with a iconic rap artist such as Tupac, you want to hold on to it. But the beef has been 20 years over now. And obviously it took Tupac and Biggie's life, and I don't think she would want the recordings impacting Lil' Kim and Faith Evans or even Diddy, because Tupac probably says a lot based on the reenactment. He talks about the whole having sex with Faith Evans and the reason why he actually wanted to do that. So there's a lot of stuff in there that people could take to heart even after all this time. But as a Tupac fan, I would want to hear it in full, and it just seems like she's just milking it. Doesn't want to release anything to us, just clips here and there, and she keeps talking about releasing it and she never does anything about it. Now, if she's looking to get paid for it, I think what she should do is partner with MTV or BET, you know, these stations that have a lot of Tupac footage like Black Watch. Partner with that, and maybe they can put out a DVD with the Tupac estate with some interview footage. You can have a reenactment, you can have a music visualizer, you can even have a cartoon or something to go along with the interview. And I think that'll be a great way. She gets paid, the whole interview gets out there for the fans. And if people are complaining about something that happened 20 years ago, 25 years ago, well, fuck them. I think all Tupac stuff, songs, videos, should be released, good or bad. And same with any other artists such as Michael Jackson, Prince, and everyone else. Just because a song or something was unfinished doesn't mean that we can't gain an understanding from it. And the same with Tupac's interviews. I'm not too sure why this interview has not been released in full yet. Like I said, it could be Angie trying to milk the situation, but it's been 25 years already. You know, how much more valuable it can get in the next 10 or 15 years. I don't think there's much more that it could possibly grow to. I think more likely Diddy probably bought the rights to the actual interview, and that's why we haven't seen it released yet. There's also been rumors that it actually wasn't 2 hours, it was just Angie Martinez clout chasing, but I can't verify that. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on this interview. Let me know if you guys think that we'll ever hear the full thing.
Man, that's some bullshit. That's bullshit. Angie Martinez needs to be held responsible. I mean, this is really sad that you got this much power, and it's bullshit power. You know, it's bullshit power that you think you have. To me, and to be honest with you, somebody needs to really beat you down, like for real. Somebody needs to check you, Angie. This shit is not cool. I couldn't air it on the radio because I was literally afraid that someone would die. You know, you were afraid that you would die. And how weak of a person are you to ugh. She said Tupac was angry and passionate at the same time. Well, okay, let's figure out why. Diddy tried to fuck him. They lied on him. They tried to smear his name. Then you had the old head tried to fuck him. Like, come on, Angie. What would you do in this situation? Wouldn't you be angry too? At some point, you're gonna have to take a stand, girl, and you're gonna have to release these tapes. 'Cause it's really messed up. So, like I said, I'm gonna really take my time. Hold on. I mean, we have so many pictures of them together. You know, the Voice of New York, the Tupac interview. I mean, this was I don't know when this was. Like we've been doing this for 20 years, Angie. 20 years, girl. We are tired of you. And we know multiple sources say Diddy paid, Diddy paid, Diddy blocked it, Diddy paid Angie. We know Diddy blocked it, Diddy paid, but Diddy locked up now. Diddy gone bye bye. Let me see. I know Jay Z's left out there. There may be a reason to why you don't want to do it. He might. I'm sure. He probably threaten you to threaten everybody else. But fuck Jay Z, Angie. Fuck them people. They can't do nothing to you now. They even talking about you on Reddit, Angie. Let's see what they got to say. Okay. Angie Martinez interviews. This was 2 years ago. I am especially curious about the content of that interview now. New theories concerning Diddy's sexuality being outed by Tupac, possibly during that interview, are starting to spool, which makes sense as far as being involved with what happened in Vegas, which is where Vegas. Puffy, no, who? No, Puffy died in Cali. I mean, Biggie died in Cali. Tupac died in Vegas. Wendy Williams lost her job for talking about Puffy as well, about his preferences. I don't know, and I'm trying to find that video of when Wendy outed Diddy. So clearly, he does not play about keeping it on the DL. And I can believe that Diddy threatened you, Angie. With what we know now, I'm sure he threatened you. And I'm sure Jay Z sealed the deal. And you probably were scared. But the fact of the matter is, Angie, is that so many people have died. So many people have been sexually assaulted. And so many people are just not here anymore. So the level of threat has really went down. And just like this lady said, wild campaign, it drives me crazy that she refused to release the video. Like, what is the reason for that? Homie has been gone for 20, what, 30, 20 years, and it's literally the one only piece of media we haven't seen. It's more. I feel like it would break the internet. This is what people are saying about you, Angie. Apparently, Poofy, which is Diddy, paid Angie Martinez to acquire that explosive Pac interview from the 90s, which 1,000% guarantee that shit would never see the light of day. You're really a coward, Angie. As fans, we deserve to hear that interview. If Angie doesn't release it and waits for someone in her estates to release it long after we are gone, this is unfair. Puff Daddy has paid off a lot of people. He has to stop the dirt from coming out. Oh, I want to know what's on that interview. But I can tell you one thing. Even if she don't release this video, which I would never respect her, ever. Even if she don't, right? Even if she never releases this video, y'all. Tupac spoke through this album cover, Machiavelli the Dawn. Youngins, if you don't know about this, it's time to get reacquainted. As you can see in the album cover, we have Diddy in a pink ballerina dress with Biggie next to him with that says pig, bad girl. Hmm. Then we have somebody with a white, I don't know, I never could figure out who this was getting ramsacked from the back with the white lady hand over him. I'm thinking that means something like, you letting these white Jews you an ass or something like that. Something to that effect to the point where it's like, I know it's a disc, but who knows what Tupac be thinking about. Man. So y'all, this is the type of stuff we was witnessing in the 90s, y'all. This is Diddy in the pink dress, y'all. This is Tupac's album. So you tell me just based off of this, you know that interview was fire, right? Yeah, it was fire. So we know in the 90s, Pac was known for pulling no punches, y'all. He was known for pulling no punches. He was a straight chaser. What do you call it? All shots, no chaser. We loved that about him. Um, I hope this plays. It's a 10-minute interview, so I'm trying to get it up for you guys. Hold on, y'all. No. I think a lot of these links are it's been so long, right, that she's been holding on to this video that a lot of these links are not even here no more, y'all. This is crazy. Uh-oh, I got something. Let's see. Let's see what they're saying on Lipstick Alley. Everybody's pissed off at you, Angie. Angie is a cunt. I like how he flipped the situation with the chick he married. It was nice of him to say what he said, even though it was bullshit. She ain't released shit. Fuck Angie. She need to stop playing. Now she was scared she was gonna get killed. Come on now. I don't know what's up with my internet, y'all. Let me get through this interview. I'm gonna get through this interview because it's needed. Sick of Angie Martinez. You don't hold the culture in your hand, dog. This is our culture. You are a guest. Release the video. Man, I don't know what's up with these links, man. Okay, so keep going, Kim. What? Hold on. We got something. Everything's just spinning. 20 years, you know what I'm saying? Angie is a cunt. Well, that link is pretty slow. I don't think that link is going to open, y'all. It's been 20 years. I'm trying my best to get you the information, but, these links are 20 years old. I've been waiting for 20 years, Angie. Just sitting here waiting. So, it was speculated on the interview that it was revelations of industry issues, violence, sexuality. He did talk about Diddy. He did talk about Quincy Jones. But we don't know. But what we do know is his voice was powerful. And it was silenced, y'all. Like, I would have never thought that Jay-Z would have never had anything to do with this. Because why would he have anything to do with this? But it makes sense because in 1996, Jay-Z was trying to get away from Rockefeller, and he was trying to put himself in a position of power, right? So it makes sense. That makes sense for him to stick his big toe into Diddy's business, right? Because I think Jay-Z, he was underhandedly always down with Diddy from day one. He just hid their relationship. And that's just what I think. This video isn't available anymore. It's been so long. And maybe, is this what Angie wants? This what you want, Angie? For things just to suddenly disappear, huh? It's been so long. It's just ironic if you're just not joining me how Jay-Z appeared out of nowhere and say, "Oh, Angie, you need to keep that video safe." Come on, Angie. That's what you're telling us? Okay, Angie. Let's hear what you got to say when you admitted that Diddy blocked this video. And I'm sure he threatened you because in his behavior, I'm sure he didn't just treat you different. And it's time for you to tell your story. Diddy's locked up now. Everybody's dead. If he threatened you, tell us, Angie. Like, I don't understand the fear. Or you scared of Jay-Z?
The East Coast, West Coast thing.
So let's hear what Angie Martinez had to say about um, admitting, and not only in recent interviews, but back then too, that a full version does exist, but she still hasn't released it. And y'all, some people believe Jay-Z kept it safe, and others say Diddy blocked it. So let's just hear what the girl got to say, because at this point, I don't respect Angie. At this point.
Is a musical thing. That's separate. That's a whole thing separate to itself. That's a musical thing. When we have been beefing about who better or which is this,
it just
which
seems
is that,
like it's gotten
from
real
the beginning.
bad
It
right
has
now.
because I'm like a lightning rod because I'm attacking New York's finest.
Feel at any point that you was like betraying York or Biggie by going to do that interview at that time?
His side of the story was like, how could I be mad at a whole coast? That don't even make sense. And I said, well, nobody's heard you say that. Like, this is getting...
The East Coast, West Coast thing is a musical thing. That's separate. That's a whole thing separate to itself. That's a musical thing. When we have been beefing about whose music is better or which is this
It
or
just
which is
seems
that
like
at the
real
beginning.
bad
It
right
has
now.
because I'm like a lightning rod because I'm attacking New York's finest.
Did you feel at any point that you was like betraying New York or Biggie by going to do that interview with Tupac at that time?
His side of the story was like, how could I be mad at a whole coast? That don't even make sense. And I said, well, nobody's heard you say that. Like, this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Angie Martinez is finally giving us the unfiltered truth about why she never released her interview with Tupac. And yes, it has Diddy written all over it. Believe it or not, there was a time when people thought the interview was an urban legend. But it would turn out that Diddy was the one who allegedly forced Angie Martinez not to release the interview because Pac dropped some very disturbing industry secrets that would have exposed Diddy for who he really was. Pac apparently did not hold back in that interview. It was basically like his infamous diss track, Hit 'Em Up, is podcast style. Well, Angie is tired of holding on to that explosive interview, and she's now spilling all the tea about the threats Diddy sent her to force her to back off. But do the feds really have access to that interview? And is it true that Diddy threatened to unalive Angie if she released it? Let's get into it.
Time, I couldn't air it on the radio because I was literally afraid that somebody would die. I literally thought I would make a bad situation worse. When my intent was to try to smooth it out and make it better, but he was so angry and passionate at the time that I really felt like if I would have came, put it on the radio, it would have got worse.
Today, Angie Martinez is known as the voice of New York because of her successful 28-year stint at New York City station Hot 97 105.1 FM. But back in the early to mid-90s, when she was still building her career both as a rapper and as a radio personality. So, when she got the call to come and interview the legendary Tupac, it was like her ticket to stardom. Tupac was one of the biggest rappers in the world at the time, and the East Coast-West Coast beef was at its peak. As a fresh and energetic voice, Angie was the perfect person to do the interview. Little did she know it would change the entire trajectory of her career. But why was Angie the perfect fit for that Pac interview? Let's do a quick rundown of her and how she grew from a rebellious kid to one of the most influential voices in hip-hop and pop culture. Angie Martinez sprung from multicultural roots with a Puerto Rican father and a mother of Puerto Rican, Cuban, and Dominican descent. Moving between Brooklyn and Washington Heights, Angie was raised by her single mother for the most part. As a teenager, Angie developed a rebellious streak, and she started hanging out with friends and exploring street life. She would drink and smoke some grass with her friends, but most importantly, she also listened to a lot of music, especially hip-hop and rap. Still, her mother felt like Angie was heading down a dangerous path, so she made a drastic decision to send Angie to live with her aunt in Miami. Her mother eventually relocated there and landed a gig as the programming manager for the radio station. The early exposure to the world of radio and pop culture greatly influenced Angie, and it didn't take long for her to start developing a strong sense of attachment to that world. At 15, she gained an internship at the station. As an intern at Hot 97, Angie got a front row seat to the latest happening in the world of hip-hop, and she got to interact with some of the most influential voices in the culture. It wasn't long before she became the protege of legendary DJ Funk Master Flex. Angie was a quick study, and she honed her radio hosting skills while working at the station. By the late 1980s, she was co-hosting the afternoon drive segments alongside DJ Enough, where she interviewed some of the biggest names in music like Jay-Z, DMX, and Mariah Carey. Gradually, Angie established herself as an important figure in the industry despite her frequent clashes with her radio rival, the one and only Wendy Williams, who she sometimes had to work with. Angie's charisma and talent kept her in the spotlight, and she even grew a loyal fan base while on the radio. In 2014, Angie made a controversial move to Power 105.1 after almost 20 years at Hot 97. This left people wondering if she had a dispute with her colleagues at Hot 97, but she later confirmed that she was cool with Ebro Darden, Funkmaster Flex, and Cypher Sounds. Angie continued her reign as a top media personality after the move to Power 105.1, and that same year, Jay-Z signed her to a management deal with Roc Nation, kickstarting her career as an artist. After being encouraged by famous rapper KRS-One to try her hand at rapping, Angie got featured in his 1997 album, I Got Next. The song she appeared in, Heartbeat, blew up, shooting Angie into the spotlight in the music industry.
Riding off the wave of that success, Angie landed another feature on the Ladies' Night remix of her song, Not Tonight. Other famous artists were also featured in the song, like Missy Elliott, Lisa Left Eye, Lopes of TLC, and Dobrat. The track went platinum and peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. It's safe to say at this point, Angie was rolling with music industry royalty and gradually becoming one herself. Record labels were falling over themselves to sign her, and in the middle of that bid, she collaborated with her friend, the iconic singer Mary J. Blige. Angie released her debut album, Up Close and Personal, in 2001 to great commercial and critical success. By 2002, she had already started working on her second album, Animal House. The album was even more successful than the first one. It literally became a summer hit. And by this point, Angie was a household name in the music industry and urban radio. Angie's career trajectory was one for the books, but she never slowed down, even for one moment. She had a scary incident in 2019 when she was involved in a terrible accident that left her hanging onto her life by a thread. This period forced Angie to reorganize her priorities, and after a long and difficult recovery period, she decided to take her career in another direction, leading to the birth of her podcast, IRL. Despite Angie's impressive growth, her career wasn't without its ups and downs. For example, she had a well-publicized beef with Diddy that lasted for decades. Angie and Diddy never liked each other. In fact, she admitted to hating him in her memoir, My Voice. For Angie, her animosity with Diddy was never personal. It was mostly professional. She didn't like the way he handled things, and she thought he was too shady. In her memoir, she spilled the tea about how, while everyone else was bending over backward to get close to Diddy, she never felt the need to have a relationship with him since they didn't click. She explained that Diddy's aggressive push for his own agenda seemed too crass for her and often clashed with her own style. But as it turns out, this barely scratched the surface of why Diddy and Angie hated each other. Angie once talked about one time when Diddy ran up on her, and she didn't hold back in talking about how the situation left her shaken. The encounter itself wasn't an out-of-the-blue experience, but it was the way it left her feeling uncomfortable that stuck with her. It also wasn't the first time they had crossed paths.
Okay, Angie, if this man, if he threatened you like that, you should want to release this video now, because young artists were vulnerable. And these are the same systems that silenced Tupac. We got public knowledge of the interview. But let us view the video so we can form our own opinion and view how loyalty, power, protection in hip hop and beyond was. We're in a digital age now. Angie, transparency matters. So if the interview had dropped, it could have saved lives and careers. So Angie, it's time. Diddy cannot harm you. I know Jay-Z out here, but if we band together, and I can imagine I can just imagine how he threatened you, Angie. It's time to release that full interview. Diddy is gone. He ain't getting out. If you care about black culture, about the truth, this is bigger than the nostalgia. Fans deserve transparency. Artists deserve awareness. It's too late now, but we want to know. Creators deserve protection because this can happen again with new people. So I'm keep calling it out. We're gonna keep demanding you drop this video. So I hope y'all tag her. We need to shake the internet. So back to this thing, and I'm sorry, Angie, that you were, because I can imagine how he was threatening you in fear for your life. I can imagine. You definitely should have got all your cousins and tried to whoop his ass, because that's what I would have did back in New York in the 90s. He had too much power, and he was going around threatening women like that, so I can imagine how scared you was. So this is your moment, Angie. This your moment, girl. We will ride for you, Angie. You got to talk to us, though.
And each time left her with a worse taste in her mouth than the hole that stuck with her. It also wasn't the first time they had crossed paths, an out of the blue experience, but it was the way it left her feeling uncomfortable that stuck with her. It also wasn't the first time they had crossed paths, and each time left her with a worse taste in her mouth than the last time. She just never aired the business out there because she understood that not everything needed to be made public. As chaotic as some parts of Angie's career were, other parts left a mark on the world, like her infamous interview with Tupac. At the time, Angie was still trying to build her career in radio, and her interview with Tupac was her biggest yet. But here's where it gets interesting. Angie never released the interview she had with Tupac. Well, technically, she did release some of it, but only about 10 minutes of what we know was a 2-hour interview.
And what's going down with that, so I wanted to get his view, and here goes a little something.
The East Coast, West Coast thing is a musical thing. That's separate. That's a whole thing separate to itself. That's a musical thing. Where we have been beefing about whose music is better or which is this
it just
or which
seems
is that
like it's gotten
from
real
the beginning.
bad
It
right
has
now.
because I'm like a lightning rod because I'm attacking New York's finest. They're self-proclaimed king of New York. You know what I mean? I'm attacking them so because nobody is separating themselves from him. They still
talking about
how
Biggie.
raw, yes, they still talking about how raw he is and woo woo woo. He's a representative. He represents New York.
There are a lot
every time it benefits New York, he represents New York. When it don't benefit New York, now he's just another rapper. But y'all let him wear y'all colors. You let him shout y'all shit out. When Biggie came out here, he screamed out, "Brooklyn's in the house." We don't beat to say why you starting a war. Why is everybody when I say West Side, it hurt people's feelings?
I don't think it's because you're saying West Side. I think because
They think they own me.
Nah, not at all. I think it's because, Dog Pound video came out, New York, and I'm not saying you wasn't in the video. I know you wasn't in the video,
I wasn't in it. I didn't write it. I didn't produce the beat.
All right, so let's
I
take
was in
that.
jail. The album was done while I was in jail. That's separate.
It just, you know what it is? It's New York's visualizing your camp, which to them is Death Row, which is Dog Pound, which is Snoop, and which is that whole thing. And it was all one time. The New York video came out. Brothers was stepping on cars in New York, stepping on, on New York like they owned it. Boom, you come out, next video, West Coast.
What about the video? Yes, to me it is the best coast. And everybody in New York feel like that too. That's why they come out here and party, man. Why is everybody acting like I didn't say for me to say Cali is the West Coast. I never said New York ain't shit. I never said New York is the worst coast. I just said where I'm at, where I'm from is the best coast. Why is that offending people?
Okay.
The interview happened during the height of the East Coast-West Coast beef, so it was highly anticipated because a lot of people knew that Tupac was going to have a lot to say, and he didn't disappoint.
Did you feel at any point that you was betraying New York or Biggie by going to do that interview with Tupac at that time?
His side of the story was like, how could I be mad at a whole coast? That don't even make sense. And I said, well, nobody's heard you say that. Like, this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I went there, and he did say some brilliant, amazing things, but he was also on fire and still very angry. This happened, I'm gonna do this to this person, this person, this person, this person. And he definitely was using me to get a point across.
Of course, you're the voice of New York.
Yes. And I thought, if I air this, more people will die. More people will.
According to Angie, Tupac said so many things about the industry, especially some of the dark, well-kept secrets that some people were willing to protect at all costs. It was so damaging that she knew if she released it, people would get unalived due to the things Pac said. The East Coast-West Coast beef was marked by meaningless shootouts and violence that usually led to rappers and their family members getting unalived. Both Biggie and Tupac tragically lost their lives to the beef.
Fat Joe, he did an interview with Angie Martinez, and Angie Martinez told Fat Joe that the reason why she haven't released the Tupac interview is because she feel like the interview would get people killed. What you think about her saying that?
Yeah, I was there when he did the interview with Angie Martinez, and I seen that post, and I think she made a wise decision. You know what I mean? Because everybody will be involved, and when bodies start dropping and people lose their life, you know what I mean? The consequences and accountability, everybody who pushed that is involved. Like, for example, people died because the media really pushed the East Coast, West Coast war that really wasn't there. So I think Angie Martinez was wise to say, I'm not gonna release that, because she probably would have got a lot of money. It probably would have been one of her biggest interviews, especially back then. Pac was fresh out of jail, and one of the first interviews he done was with her. It would have blew up. But she was smart enough and wise enough to say, you know what, but what about the consequences? You understand? And I think, hip hop need more of that. It need more of that mindset to say, okay, even with the record companies, the record companies don't really care about what these rappers put out, and if they start killing each other, because it's all about money. So I seen that, we was there, and I think that was really wise of her, to not release it, because Pac was mad. He was going crazy on everybody.
But it was also much deeper than just a bunch of angry guys offing each other. The press played a huge role in adding fuel to the fire, pumping out stories that made the situation seem worse than it was. According to Angie, releasing that interview would have been like making an already bad situation worse, and she wanted to avoid unnecessary bloodshed.
Exactly.
That's where I interviewed him. That's where it
did?
happened. It was in the middle of all that. It was smack in the middle of what was going on, crazy, and I was 22, and it was my first big interview, and I flew to the West Coast by myself.
Wow.
Didn't know him from nowhere, and I really just went there and interviewed him, and what I got was so crazy.
However, it would turn out that there was a deeper, even more sinister reason why that interview never made it to air. Allegedly, Diddy sent his goons after Angie, and they hounded her till she finally decided for her safety not to release it. It's not clear how Diddy found out about the exact contents of the interview, but someone on Angie's team probably leaked the information to him. It's believed that Diddy found out that Tupac spilled some tea about him that could possibly end his career. I mean, think about it, guys. If Angie herself thought Pac said things that were so scandalous...
Hey, you know what's funny, y'all? The same things he was worried about is happening in full frontal in front of the world. You were so worried about us knowing that you were gay back in the 90s, and look at what's happening. You got a live coverage court case with men escorts saying that they bust a nut on you. Let me tell y'all, karma is a motherfucker. You gotta watch how you treat people, y'all.
That somebody would have lost their life if it got released. You can imagine just how damaging that interview would have been for Diddy.
When Angie Martinez, right, when she went to LA and did the interview with Tupac, did y'all know about that on Bad Boy side?
Yeah, we heard about it. Puff is probably one of the only persons that heard that interview. Angie can't say that nobody heard that interview, because it wasn't her ideal not to put it out. Do you understand what I'm saying? She can say that it wasn't her idea, but it's not owned by her. Who owns that interview? Because who was sent out there? Hot 97 owns it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So she can take all the accolades for not putting it out. You understand? But when you send somebody or someone of your person do an interview under the banner of Hot 97, it belongs to Hot 97.
Hey, that explains everything, because Diddy had so much power with Hot 97 that he got Wendy Williams fired. So not only did he threaten Angie, he probably threatened to take her job or career away and blackball her in the industry as well, because that's what he did with everybody else. It's starting to make sense. I'm starting to kind of try almost apologizing to Angie. I don't know yet. Let's keep going.
Puff in the back ran Hot 97. That's how he got Wendy Williams fired. You understand what I'm saying? He could make phone calls.
Yeah.
To say something, to say, don't put this out, don't do this, take this off. He had that kind of power.
So Puffy, he did hear that Tupac interview.
Why would you try to stop something if you ain't heard it?
Right.
Why would you try to stop something if you didn't hear it? And if Puff asks to hear something that Angie Martinez have, you think they gonna deny him?
It was not a secret that Tupac and Diddy had beef. They were on opposing sides of the East Coast-West Coast beef, and Pac believed Diddy had something to do with him getting shot that first time. So, it's a no-brainer that Diddy was one of the people Tupac put on blast in that interview. Oh, but it gets even more interesting. Whispers have been going around that Angie can't release the interview now, even if she wanted to, because the feds have gotten their hands on it. Among all the other legal troubles Diddy is going through with his RICO charges and all that, the feds have also allegedly reopened Tupac's death and are considering possible links between the incident and Diddy. So, while it's not confirmed yet, it's believed that the feds think that the interview with Angie Martinez is going to reveal a lot about the events leading up to Pac's death. But do you guys think Angie needs to release the interview? Or do you think she should just leave it to the feds and let them do their jobs? Drop your 2 cents down below and be sure to check out this next video.
Damn, y'all. This changes everything, y'all, for me. Show them, they'll get you. Oh my God, y'all. So this changes my perspective, y'all. Damn. I'm speechless. As a woman, damn, y'all, I feel bad now. I'm gonna have to go back and because I'm woman enough to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Angie. I think what I think the problem is, y'all. I think the problem is that yes, Angie Martinez held Tupac's boys hostage for 20 years. Okay, we know that. And now it is surprising to find out that it was by Diddy. I just did not pinpoint that. This nigga ruined hip hop for real, y'all. Diddy. I think what's the problem with Gen X is that we are shocked that Diddy had that much power. I think that's the problem. I think that's the whole thing that hit us so hard, especially for Gen X and early millennials like us. Because I knew Diddy was a mogul. I never looked at him like more than a mogul. Like he was a dream. Like, oh, he's so fine. We knew him from dancing in the background. And come to find out he was running the whole room. This nigga gave us Biggie, Craig Mack, Mace, Total, Mary J. Blige, J-Lo, Danny B. Kane, Day 26, Moon, Shine. That's a whole lot of people, y'all. We was partying and dancing to the point where he sold us on Black Excellence, champagne, suits, shiny things, while people were being used, abused, and disappeared. can't wrap our heads around it because he was the party. He was the culture. So how the hell was he also the predator hiding in plain sight? Diddy just didn't run the culture. He controlled it, y'all. I'm afraid. This proves it. No wonder Mary J. Blige is around here looking crazy, ducking and dodging. She praying to God he don't say her name. Nobody says her name. Now we're finding out through Diddy's court case that he was basically bullied everybody around him. So Diddy just didn't run the culture. He controlled it, y'all. This is proof. And for Gen X, that's truth. It's hard to digest. Should I show you why? This nigga was dancing. Oh, he was so ugly, y'all. The man who gave us Biggie, y'all, also left behind a trail of trauma. And the fact that Angie Martinez kind of didn't have any choice but to help him cover it up. She didn't say a goddamn thing. That has to be a threat that like no other. But Angie, we got you now. We know Jay-Z's still out there. But what Diddy did to you was betrayal at the highest level. And I'm also going to do a video about Wendy Williams as well, y'all. But it's time to confront all of these cowards because that's what they really are, Angie. No more silence. This is not just about Angie Martinez here at the interview no more. It's about how powerful and dangerous Diddy really was behind the scenes. So I think I need to do another video about Diddy and go way back to the 90s. We missed so much stuff. Diddy wasn't just some industry guy. He had money, media control, street ties, political connects, and real fear behind his name. Who knew? So Angie was being threatened. She was being intimidated, and she was threatened to be blackballed. Come to find out, everybody's speaking their truth now since Diddy gone, y'all. So she probably did feel like staying silent was the only way to survive in that world. She probably saw Wendy Williams get threw off the radio. Remember that? And let's not act like radio, especially back then, wasn't being ran by men who protected other men. That's why Diddy became so powerful, because he was willing to go beyond the point of no return, if you know what I mean. So part of me want to be mad at Angie until I remember what it meant to be a woman in this industry back then. Because we wasn't even in the industry and was getting sexually harassed. It was just like no type of there was nothing going to be done. You didn't have anywhere to turn. Only go get your uncles or your brothers, So I remember, y'all. I remember that what it meant to be a woman in the industry back then. And if Diddy could silence artists, blacklist journalists, and make billion-dollar moves with dirty money, what could he have done to a woman with a voice and an unreleased video? So it don't excuse it, but it explains why she might have been scared to speak. And that fear, that silence, that's part of the damage too. So I might have to change my title to something like Angie Martinez stayed silent for 20 years, but was she silent? Or Tupac tried to warn us. Angie held the tape. Diddy ran the room. Wow. Whew. This is Black Culture is Lit TV. We don't settle for tea. We demand receipts. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Throw a comment in the section. Share this. Also, Get me to 1,000 subscribers, y'all, so I can really put on for my city. And don't miss, y'all, the lit line. First time going live this Saturday at 10 a.m. We're going to break it down live, y'all. Yeah. Until next time, we see the power. We want the truth. I am Bella, and I am out. Peace out.